Hey everyone, what's going on? I'm Jack, and you're watching Python Addiction Live. Today, I'm going to be going over a clutch that is a first-time attempt for me, and that is with corn snakes. I have two different corn snakes that I figured, why not give it a try, since I already breed ball pythons. How different can it be? And there's a learning curve, especially when it comes to the incubation side of things and that kind of stuff. Just learning that it's completely different, but the process is still very similar. So it's going to be a interesting venture as I do it this year and probably continue doing it going forward. But I wanted to take a little bit of time to show this first clutch. Now the pairing for this, I will show you guys in a minute, was my raw boy, who is a Carmel Tessera. I think I'm saying that correctly. And my girl Jupiter, who's a Okeetee Diffused and something else. I forget right off the top of my head. But it's that right there, that these look completely different than the parents. Completely different. And it's interesting. So as you see here, I have my box pretty much the same way that I do my boxes for my normal ball python breeding, but I did use some of the foil, and here we go. I didn't use the grates on it, because from everything that I saw research-wise, it's best to actually put them into the medium. I used vermiculite for this one because it's what I had available at the time. I will probably switch to strictly perlite for any of my colubrids going forward. Hi, little one. As from what I have seen from other people's videos and other people's success stories, that the perlite works a little bit better, as well as separating the eggs when I can. 4 are out of the eggs that I saw from peeking. 1 did pass away as they came out of the egg, unfortunately, which that's if you're getting into any type of breeding or anything like that, that's one of the really big things to understand, is you're going to be faced with failure to thrives or things that don't hatch out completely correct, no matter what you do. We're making our best efforts to provide the best possible success rate, but that doesn't always guarantee success in the end. Nature is going to prevail one way or another on whether or not something is going to survive. But let's see what we have here. Look at that little baby. Look at that little baby. Absolutely gorgeous. This looks to me like a het anery from everything. Again, I am not a expert when it comes to the morphs on corn snakes. I'm still a noob, so still learning. But then you have like this one here, which has got the Tessera look with the striping in it. So very, very interesting. Now, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to close these off so they can't escape. Only 4 of them so far have come out. There is 1 other egg in there. There was a total of 10 that were laid for this clutch. Mom did double clutch. hatch, and I got 5 more eggs that are still in the incubator, but those are still fairly new in comparison to when these were laid. But there was 10 originally here when they were laid. One of them in towards the center here, this one right here, this little dark spot on the camera here, that one started to mold out really early on and started to shrivel up. So I don't think that it survived. I haven't seen any growth. It looks dead. The other ones, there's one that's towards the front that's got some bubbling. It looks like it's just taking a little bit longer for that particular one to hatch. There's one that, again, here we go again. This one right here that's nice and plump. There's like a tiny bit of a cut just starting. Oops. But yeah, this one's bubbling, so this one's gonna hatch out soon. This one, I also think, even though they cut, it's a little bit on the firmer side. I think they may have passed away inside of the egg. That one's empty, that one's empty, that one's empty, that one's empty. This one, not sure yet and haven't seen bubbling, and that one's empty. So, it's going to be a waiting game. I'm not going to cut these like I would the ball python eggs. Not anyways. That's something that I'm still learning on. But I want to show you a little bit of the parents with what I paired together. So that right there is Mama. That is Jupiter. And here's a different view of Jupiter. Very bright orange. She has the red eyes for the Amelanistic. And then we have the dad, which is a Carmel Tessera. I love the striping on there and the greens and the browns and everything like that. So it's one of those that I'm excited when it comes to the just whole trying new species type of thing for the breeding. And we've got Patrick here. Hi Patrick, thanks for joining my live stream. This is my first one, so let me know how I'm doing. But overall, it's going to be one of those things that's a trial and error, no different than learning how to actually breed ball pythons. But it's something that I wanted to add to what I breed, what I offer, because I have a love for a lot more snakes than just the ball pythons. Is that a little bit better, Patrick? I can't actually hear myself talking because I'm deaf, so that part I don't know. I can adjust some of the gains and everything like that to see if that's a little bit better. So just let me know if that's going to be a little bit better as far as picking up what I'm saying and not it being too loud. But as I was saying, getting through and going through and actually breeding the corn snakes is just one step in what I want to be breeding, because I'm looking at eventually going through and breeding Bredli pythons as they grow up. So that's going to be more like breeding ball pythons with their care and everything like that. So it's a balancing game. It's learning new things. I enjoy the science behind it. I enjoy seeing the mystery that comes out of everything. Thanks very much, Patrick. I'm glad that it sounds much better. But I'm still learning here, so we'll have to see if any of you guys have guesses as to what the actual genetics might be for these. Like I said, I know that there's the Carmel, there's the Tessera, there's the Amelanistic in there. Oh, escapee. The other ones are hiding underneath. I'll have to dig them out. But very, very beautiful little babies. Nope. Where's your other ones? I know they're here. Nope. Found one of the hiders. So that, oh, and there's the fourth one right there. So we got 4 that are out of the egg so far. Nope. You want to come out and say hi? Yeah, you can come out and say hi. Tiny little things at first. No, you stay in there. So, let me put the lid back so they don't escape. It's one of the other things that I'm not used to right now is how much smaller they are compared to a hatchling bull python being much, much larger. I mean, these probably weigh like 4 or 5 grams. Things to learn before breeding. Before I did this, I made sure to understand that you need, for like corn snakes, you need to have like a lay box, a place that's higher humidity, because corn snakes in general, their care and upkeep, they don't require that high of a humidity. But when a female corn snake is going through their breeding, they're going to seek out a area that has higher humidity to be able to lay their eggs. So understanding those humidity requirements ahead of time, making a little lay box before you even start the breeding process. The other thing when it comes to corn snake breeding is brumating your corn snakes, which is a process of essentially letting them go into hibernation for a couple of months during the winter. No food, and letting them basically sleep, because they need that to get their cycles correct. In maybe the end of January, beginning of February, you can start bringing them out of brumation. I brumated both of mine, and I kind of did a natural brumation because my room where they're in gets a little bit cooler, so I just dialed down their heat pads a little bit and let the room get into the lower 70s just naturally with what I keep the ambient temperature in my house. And they just went off from food for a couple of months towards the end of November, and I brought them back out from the brumation cycle end of January, first couple of weeks of February, and shortly thereafter I did the pairing. It was like 30 days between the actual pairing and seeing locks to get the first clutch of eggs. It was a very, very quick cycle, which I was just blown away with how quickly in comparison to my ball pythons, and being able to go through and have to wait 2, 3, 4 months sometimes, or even longer. And just so people understand, I'm answering the question from Christy here. So other things that I would recommend is making sure that you also have rack or enclosures already set up or ready to go when it comes to breeding corn snakes in particular. The actual incubation is a little bit different than ball pythons. You only need around a 71, 72, maybe 73 degree range to incubate, and you can actually incubate a little bit lower, like 78, 79. So it's a very cool temperature range than trying to breed ball pythons to where you need like a high 89, 90 degree range to actually breed them. Some people will set them up in their house in a room that's just whatever their ambient temperature is to actually do the breeding side of things. If you watch some of Brian Barczyk's videos, you'll see where his colubrid room is. He'll take the eggs that need to be incubated that he pulls, and he just puts them right up on the racks and incubates them right there, because they don't need too much. Because in nature, the corn snake will just actually lay the eggs in like little burrows of trees and everything like that. They don't actually incubate them themselves. So they'll leave them to just naturally incubate based off from the temperature and everything like that. The only thing that they do need is that higher humidity, so making sure that they're put into a substrate that's like the vermiculite that I use, or the perlite. Making sure if you get perlite that it's not perlite like Miracle Grow or has additives or fertilizers, as those will make your eggs go bad. Just perlite natural, nothing else, or using the vermiculite and soaking it to where it's just damp and sticks together is what you want for that. But there's a few different things that if you want to breed corn snakes to take into consideration: where you're going to actually incubate the eggs, how are you going to house all of the babies, type of thing. So there's things to take into consideration. Great question. So, but if you get any other questions, feel free. Please drop your questions right into the chat, and I'll take a chance to, or take a moment to answer them out. Otherwise, future plans when it comes to the corn snakes. I'm going to continue, because these are all triple heads based off from the pairing. I'm going to keep a male and female and grow those out to produce more of the visuals like mom and dad, because I really like the Carmel Tessera look and everything like that. So that's my goal there. When it comes to gendering, you can generally tell by the tail for most colubrids. I'm going to wait until more of these come out before I actually look at them and gender them. But the longer, skinnier tails are normally the males, whereas the shorter tails are normally the females in most respects for the colubrids, or at least for gendering the corn snakes here. Fantastic. Thank you very much. It will be reposted afterwards to where she can watch it. That's not a problem. Thank you. So that was all I wanted to do today, was just to kind of show off my very first clutch for the colubrids, the corn snakes, and the direction that I'm going to go in that regards there. Still waiting on a lot of different ball python eggs to come through. I've got lots in the incubator right now, so I'll be looking at doing some hatching videos more towards the middle and end of July into August, when those are all ready to go. And I'll have the other 5 eggs from this particular the pairing, since Jupiter did double clutch. And double clutching, just in case you're not aware, is a thing that's common with colubrids. I know corn snakes do it. I know things like hognoses can do it, and stuff like that. A lot of the colubrids can double clutch. They can actually lay two separate clutches, generally 30 to 60 days in between each other. They'll go through another prelay shed and lay another clutch, and that's exactly what Jupiter did. So having, like I was saying earlier, that humid box, when you're taking it out to collect your first clutch of eggs, you want to put it back, because you never know if they're going to double clutch or if they're not going to double clutch. From what I saw with my girl, she laid a total of 8 eggs for her second clutch, and only the 5 out of there were good, and the other 3 were slugs. So it's kind of a, maybe she used up everything that Ra gave her, and those last 3 just didn't get fertilized. So, but again, thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to the next time. I do think that I'm going to start doing live streams a little bit more often, as I like the format. I like to be able to actually communicate with people a little bit more on the live side of things. So thanks again, and until next time.